The first thing that you would consider in creating a product plan using Unicell is the Unicell rail. Since the rail is the only component that actually fastens into an architectural wall, all other Unicell product simply hangs from this horizontal mounting component. If you refer to the Hayworth Healthcare price list, you will notice that the rail is available in different lengths. You would select the appropriate length of rail according to the size of architectural wall you want to place Unicell product onto. It is possible for the rail to be mounted onto a wood stud, steel stud, or masonry construction wall. Easy-to-follow installation instructions would accompany the shipment of rail for dealer installers to refer to. It would be the responsibility of the installers to select and provide the fasteners to attach the rail to the architectural wall. A Unicell rail can easily be cut on site to address specific wall sizes or conditions. Once this rail or mounting component is attached to the wall, Unicell cells, shelving, and work surfaces simply hang from it. This allows Unicell product to quickly and easily be reconfigured along the rail at any point in time. Let's look at some more details surrounding the rail. When a length of rail is specified, the following parts and pieces would automatically be included as a pre-configured assembly. There would be the aluminum extruded rail itself that installers would attach to the wall. Secondly, there would be an ABS plastic rail cover, and then 2 end caps for the open ends of the rail. The colors available for the plastic cover and end caps are champagne, gray, and silent white. Depending on the scope of Unicell product needed, you may need to specify a rail that would be installed in the upper position, lower position, or both. The upper and lower rail position is the exact same product and specified the same, just installed at 2 different heights as shown. The upper rail position is intended to house Unicell shallow cells, Unicell shelf units, and 27 module cells in both deep and shallow. And the lower rail would have Unicell work surfaces and deep cells hanging from it. We'll learn more about cells and shelf units later in the presentation. Let's now talk about instances where it is necessary for the end caps to be installed and when they are not. It's simple to assess whether or not the end caps are necessary to be installed. The factor is whether or not the ends of the Unicell rail would be visible. If the rail is attached to a wall that has an inside return condition, as shown here on the left, then the end caps would not need to be installed because the ends of the rail would not be visible. Conversely, as shown on the example on the right, the end caps would need to be installed because the ends of the rail would be visible. Or you might have a scenario where only one end cap would need to be installed, in this case, the left end cap. From a specification point of view, let's look closer at this particular example of an architectural wall that requires 16 feet total of Unicell rail. Remember, the lengths of rail available span between 12 feet and 2 feet. Since we know that the longest length of rail is 12 feet, we would need at least 2 Unicell rails to satisfy this 16-foot wall size. There are 2 ways which this could be specified. The first way is shown here. In the healthcare price list, you will notice that the 12-foot rail length is available both with end caps and without. So we would specify that 12-foot rail without end caps and a 4-foot rail with end caps to equal 16 feet total of Unicell rail. The second way you could specify Unicell rail is for this same 16-foot wall shown on the next slide. 2 equal lengths of 8-foot Unicell rail, each including end caps, could be easily specified. However, this would mean that there would be extra end caps, and in this scenario, the extra end caps would not need to be installed because only the left end of this rail configuration would be visible. It is advised that the extra end caps be kept in a hospital's inventory. The reason for this is that in case a reconfiguration of Unicell product occurs, the extra end caps are available for use. And just as a note about the seam between 2 lengths of Unicell rail, The seam does not interfere with the placement of Unicell product onto the rail, meaning Unicell cells or shelving can overlap the seam between the two rails without compromising load capacity or hanging capability. Remember too that the rail can easily be cut on site if you require an exact length. Let's move on to our next Unicell product group, which is work surfaces. Click the next link to take you to that module.